Not every villain in animated movies is eliminated at the end. Most of the time, they end up imprisoned or cursed. But some children's films take the punishment of villains to another level, showing endings that are brutal and sometimes even disturbing. Today, we're going to revisit some of the most shocking villain endings in animated movies. Even though these films were made for children, these scenes left a mark on many of us, and in some cases, even traumatized an entire generation. But before we begin, I challenge you to leave a like and subscribe to the channel before Hopper disappears from the screen. Ready? Then grab some popcorn, because this list of the most tragic villain endings might surprise you. A Bug's Life. Let's start with A Bug's Life. Even though the movie already shows some intense moments during the insect war, the death of Hopper, the cruel villain who terrorized the ants, is remembered as especially brutal. At the end of the film, Hopper is attacked by a bird and carried away to feed its babies. In nature, that might be normal, but the graphic details of the scene, showing Hopper being eaten, remind us that nature can be cruel, even in an animated world. For many viewers, this moment stayed in their memory for years. Tarzan. In Tarzan, we have another unforgettable example. Clayton, the greedy and ruthless villain, tries to cut vines while chasing Tarzan during the final fight. But in the chaos of the battle, he doesn't realize that one of the vines is wrapped around his own neck. The scene ends with his silhouette hanging from a tree, clearly suggesting that he died by hanging. It's a heavy and shocking moment, especially for a Disney movie. Ice Age, Continental Drift. Another villain with an unexpected ending is Captain Gutt from Ice Age, Continental Drift. After trying to capture our heroes, he encounters a beautiful female creature who seems to flirt with him. At first, it looks like he's about to get a romantic ending. But suddenly, the creature drags him into a giant shell and devours him. The film doesn't show the act directly, but it leaves absolutely no doubt about Captain Gutt's tragic fate. Shrek. Now let's talk about a villain whose ending is as hilarious as it is brutal. Lord Farquaad from Shrek. During his wedding with Fiona, Farquaad proudly reveals his arrogance when he sees Fiona's true ogre form. But his outrage doesn't last long, because moments later, he is suddenly swallowed whole by the dragon. Even though the scene has a comedic tone, Farquaad's fate is definitely one of the most surprising villain endings in animation. Monster House. Monster House brought one of the strangest and darkest endings on this list. The house itself is actually possessed by the spirit of a woman. She suffered a tragic fate, falling into wet cement by accident and becoming trapped inside the building forever. This disturbing origin story not only makes the villain more tragic, but also gives the entire movie a much darker tone than most animated films. The Lion King. Another unforgettable ending belongs to Scar in The Lion King. After being defeated by Simba, Scar tries to blame the hyenas for everything. But the hyenas heard the entire betrayal. In the final scene, we see their shadows surrounding Scar as flames spread across the battlefield. The film never shows the attack directly, but it strongly suggests that Scar is completely devoured by the hyenas. A tragic, yet well-deserved ending. The Incredibles. In The Incredibles, the villain syndrome has one of the most ironic and brutal endings in the entire film. After being defeated by the Parr family, he tries to escape using his personal jet. But there's one problem. His cape gets caught in the turbine. And in a split second, he's sucked into the engine and instantly killed. The moment is shocking, but it also reinforces a running joke from the movie: never wear a cape. The Little Mermaid, and to finish our list, we have one of the most brutal deaths Disney has ever shown. In The Little Mermaid, Ursula transforms into a gigantic sea monster during the final battle. She spreads chaos across the ocean, using lightning, storms, and massive waves. But her dark reign ends in a spectacular way. Prince Eric, in a heroic moment, steers a ship directly toward her, and impales Ursula with the ship's mast. The scene is filled with thunder, lightning, and dramatic music, making it one of the most intense endings in Disney history. These were some of the most brutal villain endings in animated movies. Which one shocked you the most? And do you know any other villains who deserve the spot on this list? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. See you in the next video.